Okay. Hey guys, I am Mandy Irby. I am the birth nurse, and this is...
I'm Mandolin Restivo. I'm the Brainy Birth Doula.
I love that!
And we're both Lamaze International Childbirth Educators.
Yes. So this is a really weird thing that happened today. Both the Mandys are at JPMA Baby Show in DC to teach Lamaze healthy birth practices at the same time.
Yep.
This is like the stars have aligned.
It's the universe, yes.
I'm so glad to meet you.
I'm really happy to meet you too.
So the Brainy Birth Doula, right?
Yep.
Brainy Birth Doula. Okay, so cool. So we are, I am a labor and delivery nurse and then a Lamaze childbirth educator. And Mandolin is a doula and a Lamaze childbirth educator. Yep. So we thought we would tell you why we don't do the same thing and how to give birth with confidence with both of us.
Yep.
And why we love each other.
We really do.
Yeah, we really do.
Yeah.
So when people say, I'm going to wing it, so the wing it method of having a baby is my mom did it, my grandma did it, everyone's done it, I'm going to get an epidural, I don't need a childbirth class, I'm going to wing it. What would you say to them?
I always say that in generations past, we used to see a lot more births. We used to give birth at home. People had lots of babies, so you probably had the opportunity to see 4 to 6 births in your home with a midwife. And birth has since then gone to the hospital, and we don't have that knowledge anymore of just intrinsically knowing what birth looks like. And so because birth now is very, very private, we've lost that sort of intuitive cultural knowledge.
Yeah.
And also, birth isn't what it looks like on the movies.
Right.
It doesn't take 5 minutes.
Right. There's
with
no
a lot
commercial.
of screaming.
Right.
Yeah.
Commercial break, and you're a happy mom.
Yeah.
No.
5
not
minutes,
like
baby.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, done.
Oh, that's so good. I talk about that a lot. How we don't live near our families anymore either. So even if I wanted my sisters to be there, they wouldn't make it. They live with like hours and hours away or flying distance. I know Lamaze is live, but can Facebook hear us? Give us some hearts, give us some likes. We're using a mic system, so let us know if this isn't going through. We'll fix it. Lamaze, we love the hearts. Thank you. We know that you guys are in San Antonio this week. So, okay, so they don't see birth very often, so they need to be taught or just see
I think you need to be oriented. I think people feel a little bit like, well, what do you mean I need to be taught how to give birth?
Right.
People have been giving birth all the time. Just like you go to your hospital orientation or your birth center orientation, your midwife comes to your house to get oriented to where maybe you'll be birthing. Same thing, you need to get oriented. And you also need to build a toolbox of tools so that you have a few go-to ones that you can just pull out. And that's what childbirth education does.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, do you agree?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Tools, we have tools. Well, that's probably not good for your mic situation.
We have
got balls. We were just talking about our balls, which we probably do often. You guys aren't surprised by that ball talk. But we have rebozos, and they are generally associated, and so is Lamaze, with having to be natural and having to be, I feel like I hear that a lot. Like, I want an epidural, so I don't need all of these things. But how many times do we use these in the bed?
All of the time.
Every day. Yep. So getting oriented with the tools and knowing that you have so many options to keep your labor progressing because of the way we give birth, labor can be longer. And we can be in our hospital or birth center longer. And having a team of support to be like, this is still okay. You're still in the normal, like maybe your expectation is different than what reality is, and then having a team around you like your doula and your birth partners, either your partner in life or your best friend or a family member that has attended class with you, they're all going to be like, no, the Mandys said it's going to take a long time. The Mandys said this part of labor we do these things and we get distracted and we get moving.
Yep.
And it helps when in that mind game that we get into, you know, as adult women, that like, am I doing it right? something must be wrong if it's taking so long. I think that's a big part of it. A big reason to have a team.
Yep. And the way that nurses and doulas work together is, the nice thing about having a doula is they can come to you before you go to your place of birth. So if you're birthing in the hospital, your doula comes to your home with you and can help you figure out when is a good time to go to the hospital. I think one of the things that happens when you don't have someone there who knows birth is you go so early, right? You're like, oh my gosh, I'm having a little something here. We better pack our bags and go to the hospital. And your doula is going to be like, dude, take a nap.
Gosh, yeah.
Lay down.
Eat a sandwich.
Yeah.
Well, Lamaze says, let labor begin on its own. And then ACOG says, wait at home for early labor. Only come in when it's active labor. And so we're all like, what? Where's the app to check my cervix? Not that a doula checks cervixes, but you know how to read labor. You've seen
just
it.
By seeing how you're responding and how you're coping with your contractions. The first thing that your provider is going to want to do when you call and you say, I think I'm in labor, they're going to say, or if your partner calls and says, oh, she's in labor, this is it, they're going to say, okay, let me talk to her. Because they can tell just from how you sound if you're really in labor or not. And so we're going to use those tools.
So you take tools to their house. You might take a ball and encourage movement.
Take a ball, take a rebozo. We go for walks around the block. We go to the park. We'll rest in bed. We also, this is the time where I have a birthing person and her partner really work together for, okay, what are the things that you thought would work? Let's try them. Let's try those massage techniques. Let's try those breathing techniques. Let's see if it works. If it doesn't work, we're throwing it out. Like, okay, forget it. And normally by the end of that process, we have about 3 go-to things. And that's really enough to get through labor when you add in getting into the shower, getting into the birth tub, moving around, and then whatever other medical options you might choose, like an epidural or an analgesic. We're not against those. We're for using them appropriately at the right time.
Right. So when needed. And that's what Lamaze says. Do things when they're needed. But throwing a bunch of things at someone when it's not needed is going to increase your risks. So, okay, so you're cool with an epidural?
I'm totally cool with an epidural. I would say about 60% of my clients get epidurals.
Okay.
Probably 50% are knowing going in, like, my birth plan is to have an epidural.
In the parking lot.
That's great.
Today.
The anesthesiologist, they're going to move in. They're going to give me the epidural before we go to the hospital.
I don't care if I'm in early labor. Just give me the epidural.
Give it to me.
Right.
And so we talk about when can you actually get it? How long does it take? It takes about an hour from the time that anesthesiologist comes in with their cart. Right? You have to get some fluids before. That takes time. So it's about an hour from the time you say, ding, 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 epidural,
it's
till you
time.
actually have some pain
So
relief.
using those tools during that hour is a big deal. And you're there for that.
Yep, there for that. And then also, once you're in the bed with the epidural, we talk about positions. Help me and the partner, help mom get into some different positions. We actually use rebozos, put it under mom, and the partner and I pull on each end, and we call it walking the baby down. And it's literally, we're rocking your hips, and it's like you're walking the baby down.
So it's like walking, it's mimicking all the movements without the epidural.
And then where the nurse comes in the hospital environment, is the nurse is coming in to check on you, monitoring your baby, which is really important, intermittently, unless it's needed, continuously, checking on the heart tones. Do you want to talk to us more about what nurses do?
Yeah, so why do people need a doula when they have a nurse? That's kind of what inspired this conversation. But you know you're going to have a nurse if you're having birth in a hospital. That nurse also has someone else in labor next door sometimes. Depending on the place that you're at. In the place I work, we could have 2 laboring women, actively laboring women. That happens. I don't want to say that that's ideal, and that's usually a rough day. But it's not how we wish it happened. It's just how it happens. More people are giving birth in hospitals, so your nurse is instead the person that's monitoring your baby, discussing your options, maybe giving vaginal exams, helping you figure out where you're at in labor. Are you progressing? And charting.
A lot of time on the computer. I
We're
always
always
wish,
on the computer.
Oh, you poor thing. You have to write so much on the computer.
I know. That's why I love a doula. I live vicariously through the not charting. Like, she gets to just help a mom and then go take a drink of coffee and not write about it. And I have to be like, this is what we did. This is what we did. It's just part of the job. I don't hate it. It's her story. So I get to document some of that, and possibly she'll read it later, but it's obnoxious. So it takes a lot of time, and it's just part of the hospital. So I do spend a lot of time doing that when I wish I could be hands-on. So depending on me or depending on your nurse to be your person in your team, I don't even know you. So I'm going to spend time getting to know like you, where you're coming from, what your goals are, if you wished you had an epidural in the parking lot, if you don't want to be asked about one. The whole spectrum, I see it all. And I love to be able to tailor, how we help you in labor individually, but a doula knows you. So I get to know you and we get real intimate real quick, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same. So when I say, hey, did you understand what your doctor said? And they're like, what? What doctor? Like, I'm tired or I'm hungry or whatever. I get to teach about what your options are, what your provider went through briefly, and then we rehash it. But so you don't know me that well, but I get to teach you, and then you get to use all of us to help you make your decision. So I love when patients have doulas, and you might not hear that from a lot of labor nurses, but if they love labor, they love doulas because it's such a good team.
I end up working often with a lot of the same nurses again and again, and we have great relationships. They say, oh, we're so happy to see you, and we work together as a team to make sure that mom and partner know what's going on, or understand their options. I've even problem solved with nurses, like, okay, what do you think we should do now?
That's like so powerful. Well, we did this. Okay, we did this.
We did that. And it really, ideally, everyone, and one of the doula's roles is to be the person who builds a team with everyone in the room. So whenever someone comes into the birth room, I really am thinking about, great, this is someone else who's part of the team, and how can I facilitate us all working together?
Sorry about that.
Yeah. We're live at a
trade show.
At a trade show.
So there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of babies.
A lot of babies, a lot of strollers.
Our
lucky winners of this session.
If you can't hear us, our IT people, our tech people are like, they're not moms, and they're like, there are a lot of strollers here. There are a lot of babies on the chest.
So much stuff.
So much stuff.
To see why moms swear by this popular
This is probably impossible to hear.
Once again, you'll find both decor and Love to Dream in both 523.
So if
we're a team.
So we're a team, yeah. So if your doula, if you walk in with your doula and your nurse hugs your doula, that's a great sign that you have a great team. And you can also ask, and your doula might do this, but if you want, you can also ask for a nurse that's low intervention inclined. I like that, the way of saying that, because there are people who like to get down and dirty, and there are some people who sometimes you can't teach an old dog new tricks, or they really like that high risk, really sick person. We're humans. So you get all kinds of nurses. You want the kind that knows your doula. You want the kind that's already low intervention inclined, if that's the case in your place. And then when your doula is excited to see your nurse, that's also a really good sign. I think you'd have a phenomenal team at that point.
It's really fun. I would say a doula is like a Sherpa. So Sherpas go up and down a mountain a lot, so they know the different paths.
Yeah.
They know where there might be rocks coming down. But the Sherpa always recognizes it's your journey.
Yeah.
So it's your journey. You get to make all of the choices. You're in control. I'm just someone who's been up and down the mountain a lot and can maybe tell you about some shortcuts or some places where you might run into some issues.
I love that. I want a doula. So like life doula. Next time.
There's so many situations that I want a doula for.
Right.
Like
traffic the other day in DC. I was like, I got this. I'm
gonna breathe.
I'm gonna breathe. You're right. I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna relax my muscles. Like all my Lamaze techniques. That just wrecked my train of thought. Oh, and then labor nurses. I only get like a snippet of your life, but where was I going with that? I'm tired. I get a snippet.
Doulas are Sherpas and labor nurses are...
What are we?
I don't know.
Well, my favorite part, so my patient is a stranger until the day that I meet her. And my favorite part is to get to know her, to get inside of her head, like naturally, organically, not in a weird way, to get inside her head, and then to be able to figure out what makes her tick and what makes her go. And I get to surprise her by her own strength. I love that part. I love when, the partner knows that she's dynamite. He knows or she knows that she's a warrior. But then she gets to see that. When she gets to do something that she didn't think she could do, or she didn't know how it was going to happen, I get to see the other side. And she's like, dang. Yeah. Sometimes you feel like, it takes weeks sometimes to feel like, dang, you were right and you don't even know me and I did that.
Yeah.
That feels really good.
That's a wonderful part.
Yeah. So I cannot see comments. Mandolin cannot see comments, but put your comments down below. Do you guys see any that we need to address? No. All right. So comment down below. We are going to be sharing this and keeping track of the comments. If you have doula questions or nurse questions or Lamaze questions, let us know. How can they find you?
www.brainybirth.com.
That's so cute. Brainy Birth.
I have a cute little baby, smart baby with glasses.
Oh.
He's super cute.
I love that. And then you're on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
On Facebook, yep.
Okay,
Instagram,
so Instagram,
YouTube.
You're on YouTube.
All the things.
Good.
New YouTube.
Okay,
I'm just
cool.
starting to post videos.
Okay, so we're gonna have to do this again.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Awesome.
I'm on YouTube at Mandy Irby. I'm on Facebook at The Birth Nurse. I have a group, and my website is mandyirby.com. So go there, subscribe to us, like our pages, friend us, ask us questions.
And we're going to do more of these.
Yeah.
It's going to be super fun.
Yeah. Of course, we live in the same state.
There's all this technology.
It'll be like, it'll be, instead of a ball, it'll be a line. Yeah. This is cool. Yeah. Okay, so go friend us, and then you'll be notified of the next time we do this. Give us some likes if this helps. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
So then you push.